Waking up early in the morning is one of the hardest things that anybody needs to do. As somebody who's been waking up at 4:35 in the morning for the past 15 years straight, I can tell you it never gets any easier. But virtually everybody that you know and everybody that you see around you that has whatever level of success you're looking for, guess what one thing they have all in common? Everybody gets up early. Now, I understand why you don't want to, why it's so hard for you, because when you're under the covers, it can feel warm, it can feel comfortable, and you simply just don't want to get out of bed. Whatever's going on outside of bed is not nearly as important as what's going on as you lay there for a few more minutes. But consider this. Let's say that you're a snooze button hitter, and 30 minutes go by between the time your alarm clock actually went off and the time that you actually get your ass up and out of bed with your feet on the floor. If that's 30 minutes, it's gonna add up to 120 hours a year. And that's just counting the work days. And if you do that consistently, think about the time lost, think about the productivity lost, all by hitting the snooze button. So this is a massive problem if that's something that you're doing. Regardless of why you're struggling to get up, it's about that time, and it's about really getting your day started to go in the right direction versus in the wrong direction. Now, some of you might want to make the argument that you can do just as much at night as you can in the morning. I'm gonna stay up later and do whatever it is that I need to do versus waking up really early and doing whatever it is I need to do. You and I both know that there's a problem with that though, isn't there? The problem is that at night, we wind up doing more low or no payoff activities than we ever do in the morning. When was the last time you binge watched anything on Netflix at 5 in the morning? Versus how often have you done that at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night? The night is filled with zero payoff activities. And so no, you can't get just as much done at night as you can in the morning. The morning is the time that you've got to hit it if you want to find yourself having this level of success that at least you're telling yourself and other people that you want. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 surefire ways to get your ass up and out of bed every single morning. First thing you need to understand is that getting up early in the morning doesn't start in the morning. It's not about setting your alarm clock, getting up and just rolling with it. Getting up early in the morning and getting that kind of start on your day that you actually want starts the night before. Now, this is something you might have heard before, like nighttime routines and all of that, but I want to give you a few things specifically to do and specifically not to do when it comes to what you deal with at night. So there's no way that you're going to get up early in the morning if you spent all night tossing and turning and not really getting the quality sleep that you need and getting your brainwaves into the restful state. And so one of the challenges that we've got in the way that we live today has to do with the emanation of blue light. And that comes from things like your TV, comes from your tablet, comes from your phone. And what these do is they mess with your brain waves and the natural circadian cycles that you have that tell you that it's either daytime or it's nighttime. And exactly what happens in blue light is it tells your brain that it's daytime right now. And it keeps you awake rather than producing the natural melatonin that your body otherwise would be producing about the time you're going to bed. So we've got to get the blue light off at least 2 hours before you wind up going to bed. Now, I can already hear some of you arguing, and I can probably even see some of the comments below this video that are saying, yeah, but I use that stuff to calm down, to relax. I watch TV to get down from my day, or I look at my tablet and I read a book on my tablet. Well, there's a number of different ways that you can actually go about getting your body into a state of pre-sleep restfulness that's going to work better than anything that you've done trying to watch TV, trying to just tone out or zone out, any way that you try to do that. The first one is to calm your body, and you can calm your body through any type of yoga or any type of stretching program that you can do that winds up just releasing a lot of the toxins out of your body and gets you into a restful state there. The second portion of this that we've got to think about is your mind. Your mind has to be able to calm down. And this is the primary thing that gets us into sleep mode or pre-sleep mode, is when our mind is calm. Now, you can tell yourself that you're calming down by watching a TV show, but most TV shows that we end up watching have violence in them or have sexually explicit material that makes us be more alert and more awake. And so meditation and that practice is one that's going to calm your mind and bring you down even further, a lot faster. And if you're not used to meditation, there are lots of apps that are out there that can take you through a guided process. And if you haven't ever meditated before, recognize that it's not about not thinking anything. It's simply about observing the thoughts that come in and out of your brain. They come in there effortlessly, and you have to let them go the exact same way. But when you do those things, when you turn the blue light off 2 hours before bedtime, and when you calm your body through some type of stretching or yoga, and when you calm your mind through meditation, this is gonna prime you for the best kind of sleep that you can have and set you up really well for waking up early the next morning.
Now, let's say you got everything dialed in your nighttime routine. No blue light for 2 hours before bed. You did some stretching, you did some meditating, and you had a good night's sleep. The moment of truth is coming for you, though, and the moment of truth is when your alarm clock goes off. You can still screw this up by doing what most people end up doing, which is having their alarm clock, using usually their phone, on their bedside stand. In that position, how easy is it for me to hit the snooze button, lay back down, and lose those 120 hours a year that we already talked about? So instead, we're gonna roll into tip 2 to virtually guarantee that you get up when your alarm clock goes off. Instead of putting it here on your bedside stand, instead, I want you to put it in a room that you've actually gotta get up and walk into in order to turn off your alarm clock. What this is gonna do is this is going to get your blood moving, your energy flowing, and it's also going to just have you be vertical to the point where it makes it really more difficult to get back into bed than it does just to go about your day when you said that you would. Now, this is something that works for almost everybody, but there are gonna be a few people that simply need the full-blown ninja, like nuclear option, which is what I'm gonna show you in tip number 3 right now. All right, here we are with the full-blown nuclear option. So if you're really struggling to get out of bed and you've done the nighttime routine and your alarm clock isn't on your bedside stand, but you still find yourself getting back into bed, this is the third option, and this is the one that will work every single time. And it has to do with what's in between your bed and the alarm clock. So if you're really struggling with this, what I want you to do is put your shoes in between your bed and where you go to turn your alarm clock off, and I want you to put them on before you wind up turning off your alarm clock. Because if you've got your shoes on and you go turn off your alarm clock and you're vertical, there is no way you are getting back inside that bed. So there you go, with our 3 things that we need to do to virtually guarantee that you get up when you set your alarm. Whatever time you set your alarm for. Could be 10 o'clock in the morning, could be 5 a.m., doesn't matter. Get up when your alarm clock goes off by making sure that we cut the blue light off at least 2 hours before we wind up going to bed. Stretch, meditate instead to prepare yourself for a good night's sleep. Put your alarm clock in a spot that isn't right next to you so you don't turn the snooze button and sleep for an extra 30 minutes, wasting 120 hours a year, and those are just the work days. And then finally, if you've gotta do it, put your shoes in between your bed and your alarm clock, put them on before you go hit the snooze button. If you do all 3 of those things, there is no way you are getting back in that bed, and your day is gonna start off exactly how you wanted it to.